And there's a key phrase, a key statement that he makes in this documentary. And listen up, all you all elite wrestling folks. He said he wants to go out and do his own company, wrestling company, if he ever was to get back in the business. Or whatever to do, he wants to do it on his own, kind of prove his thing, to do it on his own. So get that crap out of your head that he's going to go work for Tony Khan. If he, if you work for Vince, Tony Khan will be a pushover. Why? Start your own. Do you want to go back to do the same thing? I mean, do you think he's going to be a masochist to go back in there and work for someone else to tell him what to do? That's just my thought. But let me ask this last question about Shane. Do you see him, like the speculation with all being a worker for All Elite Wrestling, even if it's the vice president role? Do you see him?
To be fair, I could see it. I could see him by at least playing with the idea. That's an option to him. So that's where I would disagree with you a little bit.
Okay.
Is that I could see him having that as an option because again, Vince and Shane are businessmen. They're going to look at what's the best idea to go with. And yeah, it's always a fun idea to go like, I'm going to start my own company and we're going to start from the ground up and blah, blah, blah. But it's always a smarter business move to like look at AEW and go, all right, maybe that's viable. Maybe we can still rebrand that and make it something. They already have a fan base, whether it be small or big. We can go from there. So yeah, I think it could be a possibility. I know they actually met up with Tony Khan, right? Shane did.
There was another picture met up with the Bucks in a few days ago, and there's a lot of rumors or that he might show up, but I don't see Khan selling a portion of the company. But we didn't also think Vince McMahon was going to bring in a Nick Khan into his business, and look where Nick Khan is right now.
You also got to look at Tony Khan's father, because he's the one that's really bankrolling everything.
Yeah.
So he might step in and go like, listen, Tony, you'll still have your control over the company, but this is the best move to go. You're losing me money. This is becoming a hemorrhage on my bank account.
Fair point. And they bring in a McMahon to help out. I could see that there. You know what? Fair point. I didn't think about it that way. I appreciate that one there. I thought that he would be, Shane McMahon would try to get involved, would be with a Scott D'Amore with Maple Leaf Pro. Where Maple Leaf Pro is trying to start up. They need the capital, the finance. Scott D'Amore could run and the booking, all the other stuff. Shane is the overseer, the face and they could go with that, but there hasn't been any mention of that. I'm just saying, if I was to see Shane start up a wrestling company, it would be a Maple Leaf Pro. But your point with All Elite Wrestling and Shy Khan telling Tony Khan you're bleeding, and right now the Jaguars are 0-3. They're not having good season. The wrestling company is losing money, hemorrhaging. Don't have a TV deal yet, although he's saying there is or isn't. Shane McMahon could have been one helping negotiate the TV deal and come out with they could use that maybe the TV executives, we're going to give you a TV deal, but you have to have Shane McMahon as a partner, part of your television deal. It could be that with Fox or other stuff. Because remember when Fox was moved with the WWE. Shane was part of the company, so he might have connections in Fox. Who knows?
Well, let's be honest. Really, the only name that means anything in the world of wrestling business is McMahon. They're the only name that has look, we have 40, 50 years of credibility here.
Right. With experience.
So who better?
And wisdom. Yeah, you're right.
Who better?
Right on that.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, it would make things very interesting if Vince and Shane McMahon bought AEW.
You think
that would be the only?
You think Vince will go with Shane together?
If Shane is doing a thing just to prove to his father he could do it, then it's going to be just Shane. But I've heard rumors that Shane, when he meets with Tony, Vince is supposedly on speakerphone on sort of a conference.
I did not know that. That'll be interesting because Vince McMahon, I thought Vince would be done, but you never know. I thought this would be something Shane would do on his own. Because I would see, because Vince will go after, Stephanie's no longer part of the company, but Hunter is. You might be right. That
could, because think about it. It could also quell the sort of feeling of Shane where he needs approval from his father, where it's my father wants to be my partner now. That's all he needs. That's all the respect he needs. Yeah.
And I get to work with my dad. Yeah.
I get to work with my dad. We're on good terms now. let's run a wrestling company. Why not?
Interesting. We'll see on that there.